Davante Adams stock is rising, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my right screen? Davante Adams stock is rising. Matthew Stafford injury impact scaring fantasy football owners left and right that have Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. What does the future hold for Matthew Stafford? We'll find out in the upcoming days. We'll find out if fantasy owners are going to be without him this week. Right now, he's currently not practicing, and there's some concern he's going to miss a contest and then a bye week, and then potentially what's in store for Stafford going forward. The UCL is a very, very delicate situation because if you remember, Brock Purdy tore his UCL, and if you remember, Josh Allen strained his UCL as well last season and struggled for a handful of games. The bye week's going to come at a nice point, and this one missed game will probably give Stafford enough time to get somewhat right. So I think that's why he probably does sit for a game, which will impact Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp owners, and we have to talk about that. But we're talking about Stafford, the injury, the concerns, what happens if Stafford gets worse, what happens if he's not as capable. We saw what happened in week number 8 when he couldn't throw the football well. Davante Adams stock is on the rise. O'Connell, grab him in Superflex leagues, and a whole bunch more. The Fantasy Football Show News Edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Lots of news to cover, then we're hitting phone calls and super chats and all that good stuff, so hang tight, file on in, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get to the news. And for those of you that are new, we're live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, rain or shine, Halloween, doesn't matter, we're here to stay. We're here to stay. And Matthew Stafford, we hope, is here to stay as well, because Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are dependent on it. If this guy goes down, doesn't play football, there's no shot that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, both of them, if even one of them, can remain as productive as they have been on the field this year. And I know a lot of people feel like Puka is invincible at this point, and I certainly feel like if Stafford's healthy and on the field and McVay continues to implement what he's implementing, the two, Stafford, McVay, produce this kind of outcome for Puka, for Kyron, for Cooper Kupp. It's just McVay plus Stafford. That's the formula. That's the recipe, the secret sauce that is going to continue to produce all season long. The problem is Stafford is a very injury-prone quarterback. He's also older. He's also continuing to get different injuries, not just the same recurring injuries. So there's a risk of anything popping up at any moment. And the UCL injury is particularly concerning. However, the bye week and the way that this works into the upcoming weeks, the ability for Stafford to potentially get healthy is playing right into the possibility that this thing could get better, and fantasy owners could be very, very lucky. Let me see if there's anything else on Stafford right this very second. I'm going to pull up the news while we're sitting here and just make sure nothing's breaking as we're talking about it. And then we got a whole bunch of other news to talk about, so file on in. Appreciate you all. So the bye week in week number 10 for the Rams couldn't come at a better time. Week number 9, I think they do sit him. I think they want to get him healthy. That UCL is nasty. It goes from the thumb all the way down the entire arm. And if you know, Brock Purdy tore his in half, and they did some sort of bridge patch technique that is different than Tommy John, which is what a lot of people expected him to get. Tommy John takes a lot longer to heal. It can oftentimes put you stronger than you were before. But no, Brock Purdy and the Niners elected to go with the bridge, almost like a stopgap measure. And who knows how that's going to impact Purdy if we even get to that point, because Brock Purdy's playing more like Brock Turdy at this point. But in the case of Stafford, we don't want him tearing this thing. We don't want him damaging this thing. And if he goes out there this week and plays football, he could injure it so badly that a week off is not going to even do him any kind of good. And he comes back after the bye week in week number 11, and he goes up against, in week number 11, he goes up against the Seahawks, then the Cardinals, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Commanders, the Saints. Mixed bag schedule, good and bad. That's we'll see what happens. But if you own both wide receivers, there is reason to maybe explore some trades if you can sell Cooper Kupp high, which is hard to do because people have been DMing me like mad lately saying, Smitty, are we worried about Cooper Kupp? Hey, Smitty, I feel like Cooper Kupp dropped off. When really Cooper Kupp has vanished for 1 week, really. In all reality, he's come back, he's looked fantastic, and everybody's freaking out about Cooper Kupp dropping some bad production in a very short period of time. Well, actually, it's been 2 weeks in a row. But Puka and Kupp both had a bad week last week together. So without Puka struggling because of a direct relationship to Stafford's UCL injury, Kupp has really had just the one bad game. Because Puka proved it was not Kupp or Puka. In week number 8, it was Stafford not able to throw the football. But the 2 games prior, Cooper Kupp 118 receiving, 8 receptions, no touchdowns. The next week, this is his second week back, so his first and second week back, 148, 7 receptions, and 1 touchdown. And then 2 bad weeks in a row. Now, I'm not saying that you can't look at Cooper Kupp as a good buy low or a good sell high. He's both. A lot of players are both. They play both sides of the field when it comes to trading. Buy low, sell high, buy low. That's the name of the game. Who says you can't buy a player in one league and want to sell them in another? If you think that's not a possibility, if you're in the comments saying, hey, Smitty, you just said to sell him, why are you telling this guy on the phone right now to buy this guy? Because you don't understand high and low, buy and sell. That's what it is. It's a big market. And it's all perspective and vantage point. And if you're sitting there from the vantage point of owning Cooper Kupp right now, and somebody's willing to ambulance chase the situation and say, you know what, I'd like to buy Cooper Kupp. I haven't had him all year, and I think everyone's freaking out for nothing. That person might give you what you probably deserve, and then you play hardball with them. The right order of questions, the right offer, the right time, the right moment, you get them to almost pay over what the market value is. And if you want to move on from a Cooper Kupp in that situation, you can. Same thing with Davante Adams. Davante Adams is both a sell and a buy. And if that's confusing, let me explain it again for those of you in the back. Not my people, not my main people here. My people know what time it is for the most part, but there's occasionally a Caleb in the back of the room that joined late into the class. He's kind of coming in late. He's got gripes and complaints, and he's sitting there in the back, and he says, Smitty, I don't understand. You've been so hard on Davante Adams. Smitty, I had 4 people message me today saying, Smitty, you really are a flip-flopper. You've been so hard on Davante, and even last week you were really hard. Even about 48 hours ago was really hard on Davante Adams. Of course I am. Not on him, on his situation. But if you followed me at all, you know that we've been talking that this guy is the only hope. This is the only hope here in Aiden O'Connell. When your boy went on a rant about 48 hours ago about how this organization is running Davante Adams into the ground, what happened less than 12 hours later? McDaniels was fired, the GM was fired, and Aiden O'Connell was named the starter. And they brought in a Pierce, who seems like a hard-nosed coach that, I don't know much about what he's going to be like as a coach, but I do know as a personality type, he's not going to mess around. He's a motivating guy. He's going to speak very loudly, and he's going to try and get this thing into high gear. And the best football player on the roster is this man, Aiden O'Connell. So if there is ever a time that Davante Adams' stock could go back up significantly, it is right here and right now, which makes Davante Adams a great buy low. It also makes him, if you're a little squeamish about it all and you just want out and you don't know how it's going to end up, you're just tired of the Raiders situation entirely, there are people that will see it from the vantage point I just explained it and say, I want to buy. And you can sell, and you can get out comfortably without taking a bath on the whole thing. There are points of view on all sides of this situation. Davante Adams is a top 5 wide receiver talent-wise. That's never changed. Your boy never said he wasn't. The entire offseason, we've said this is a top 5 wide receiver trapped in the worst situation in football. The worst situation in football. No question about it. But the thing you got to ask yourself is, could this guy, who will throw hospital balls to him because he's young, he's a rookie, he's learning, but he's going to also connect. He's also going to put Adams in a more motivated situation. He's also going to motivate this team. And if this team can pull off some wins, this man will remain motivated. There's still a risk that somehow, some way, this guy Adams is going to look out for himself. And if this team starts to lose, if O'Connell isn't set up to succeed, which is a possibility, even though we're excited about him, we do believe he can help turn things around. He's the only hope. He's the one guy that can save this man, and we believe we're excited enough about it that there's value, and I'll tell you where my value range is in a second, but there is concern that this is a setup for failure type situation, of course. So my caveat, my cautionary tale here is that, yeah, if things can't get smoothly ironed out and there's too much massive confusion going on with the coaching change mid-season and all that, and let's say O'Connell gets injured, whatever, this man, there's still a big major threat that he could sit out weeks 14, 15, 16, 17, any number of games in that range and just say, got a little ouchie poo. I'm going to go ahead and just rest up and protect my body because I don't have a grip of years left. I don't have a plethora of years left. I have a small window of time to try and get another contract, to try and get some sort of extension. In his mind, that's how he's going to approach this as a business. So this needs to be successful. Let's not dance around the topic right here. The elephant in the room is this man right here. And O'Connell does have to step up. And if he does, this man who we've been looking straight in the face for the last 48 hours saying, I don't know what value he holds anymore, because Jimmy Garoppolo's the worst quarterback in the National Football League, and as I said all off season long, doesn't deserve to be a starter. I'm choking on my own screaming and yelling. He doesn't deserve to be a starter in the National Football League. He's quarterback 35, maybe 36. He's not top 32. He's not top 32. And so you got this guy right here coming in, and this guy right here floating around, I don't know, like 4th round value equivalent if we were to trade for Adams before this whole news unraveled in a positive direction. We'd literally be looking at a 3rd or 4th round valuation for Davante Adams walking into upcoming trade talks. Or if you drafted today moving forward, you'd be sitting there going, I don't know where I'm taking Adams. Probably not the 2nd round. Jimmy Garoppolo's trash. He's absolute trash. Okay? And I don't know when the Raiders are going to wake up. And so 48 hours ago, or less than 48 hours ago, this guy had 3rd to 4th round value. This man right here, the firing of McDaniels specifically too, because McDaniels may have driven him into the ground. So kudos to the Raiders ownership for this move right here. Not saying it's not a trashly run organization to a degree. And I don't mean that toward my Raider fans. I love my Raider fans. You're welcome here. I'm here for you to vent. And I know you agree with me in some capacity because you've been a fan for a long time. You've endured this trash for a while. But I do give the Raiders organization as a whole kudos for making 2 moves in a row that are the only moves to make, the only moves to potentially salvage this situation. The moves were to get rid of the GM, who I don't even know how much the GM's fault it was, but we need to clean house anyway and get rid of the stench of everything. Doesn't matter. The GM shouldn't have gone along with what he went along with if it wasn't all his fault. That's his bad. He's out. Bed was made. He's gone. McDaniels was trash. He was trash. He was trash in Denver. He's trash now. He's a horrible head coach. He's Hackett bad. He's Hackett bad. He's a horrible, horrible head coach. And if they would have kept McDaniels and moved to O'Connell, I would have come in here a little somber and say something to the effect of, I don't know, maybe O'Connell's going to look better, but McDaniels is going to ruin him. But because McDaniels is out and O'Connell's in and the mixture sitting here, guess what happens? This man, I think, revives his value from what would be 3rd to 4th round value into about 2nd round value. Is he a top 5 wide receiver? Probably not. Could he be 7 to 12? I believe so. Is he a top 12 overall player in any other normal situation? I think so. I think Davante Adams is that good. I think we all know that. We all know he's a top 5 wide receiver in the talent department. But does O'Connell revive his value into the 2nd round equivalent if drafting today, or trade value equivalent, 2nd round type value? I think the answer is yes.
You've just been Smitty approved.
So get excited, get prepared for a little resurrection of Davante. I'm not saying he's top 5. I'm not saying he's back to being the Davante Adams of old, but we certainly are going to get a guy that maybe inconsistently will have some 100-yard and a touchdown games. Maybe it's 50 or 60 and a touch. Sometimes maybe it's 100 yards only, and they just don't move the football into the red zone enough. But there's production going to be had at the tune of a 2nd round equivalent type value. So fantastic. That means go buy Adams low. That means hold him unless someone's coming to buy high. That also means somebody might get excited about buying him high, and you can sell him off and just get rid of the Raiders situation altogether. Jacobs gets a bump. I don't know how much. I kind of don't know how I feel about him anyway. It's not just the situation. He's been playing bad football. I know he's been put in kind of a bad situation, like your boy explained. The defenses would say, hey, throw on us, Jimmy G. Do your worst, Jimmy. You can't throw 12 yards down the field. Let's stack the box. Let's shut down Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs has been shut down for the majority of the year. Josh Jacobs' value does go up. I just don't know that it feels to the tune of what Adams' value is going to do. I do believe that Mayer is going to be an absolute gem right now.
Mashed potatoes!
If you wanted a tight end and you're struggling at the tight end position and Mayer got cut after last week, you want to go grab this kid Mayer, because Mayer has a bunch of upside. He's a very talented tight end. He's one of the most talented rookies. I mean, this rookie tight end class is phenomenal. From Musgrave to Laporta to Kincaid and to Mayer. It really is. There's 4 tight ends. You could even argue there's some more, but there's 4 tight ends that have the potential to be top 10 tight ends in the National Football League. And Mayer was looking at an unbelievably bad situation. Unbelievably bad situation under Jimmy Garoppolo. Even though Jimmy could safety net, throw to him a lot, it's still Jimmy Garoppolo. It's still the offense is limited. It's still 3 and outs. It's still turnovers, fumbles, and interceptions. So Mayer, even if he got laser locked once in a while by Jimmy G, it was not going to be the year you wanted out of Mayer, this rookie tight end, this very nice rookie tight end riser. But O'Connell will safety net blanket this kid with receptions. O'Connell will get the most out of him. O'Connell has probably been working with him in the offseason, because a lot of rookies on the rise up are working with the 2nd team, working with the 3rd team, working with the rookie quarterback. So there is probably a more special relationship between Mayer and O'Connell than people really realize. And so I believe that we're going to see Mayer go up in value. Mayer stock on the rise.
Stock on the rise.
Davante Adams stock on the rise.
Stock on the rise.
Jacobs will say on the rise, maybe not enough to get excited and celebrate it, but it is on the rise for sure. And another player I want you guys all to keep in mind, and this is from a stash perspective, and I don't want anybody to come in here and say, Smitty, do I cut somebody right now for him? Who do I cut right now for him? I hate this thing. I got to fix this focus problem. I don't want anybody to come in here and say, Smitty, do I cut, Christian Watson for him, or cut somebody that's fun? I'm not saying that, but this is a guy that you have to look out for, okay? Because if Zamir White ends up getting the job through injury in the next handful of weeks, because Jacobs had close to 400 touches walking. Jacobs had close to 400 touches last season. Okay, that is a boatload mixed with a holding out, so to speak, a not being there in all of August leads 2 huge injury red flags. Okay, so he's got 2 red flags already. Then you add in the fact that he's been getting beaten down and being frustrated and trying to carry the team on his back at times, facing more 8-man fronts and bad defensive schemes than he should be facing. And that flag mixed with these 2 flags is what really concerns me because of the abuse and breakdown of his body. His breakdown of his body from the near 400 touches is bad enough. The holding out and missing time is bad enough. You mix in the fact that he's getting worked over and getting smash-mouthed at the line of scrimmage over and over and over. There is a good chance that this man ends up getting hurt because he's going to break down. It's just not feasible to have close to 400 touches, be put in this environment with these red flags and stay healthy. So Zamir White is a very, very nice stash and hold. Doesn't mean that he's going to do anything right now. Doesn't mean he's going to do anything next week. This is a patient play. This is not a week 9 play. This is not a week 10 play. This is a patient play. So everybody needs to understand that situation. Okay? Go get him. And no one's saying McBride isn't better than Mayer, but no one's saying, quite honestly, that can't actually be the case. But I do rank Mayer over, or McBride over Mayer. But I will say, from a dynasty perspective, there's definitely an argument to be made for Mayer. And from a redraft perspective, we'll just see what O'Connell does. There's certainly the possibility that Mayer does go off on a tear. McBride's nice, though. McBride's nice. Mayer's nice. They're both nice, Edward. But if you had to pick one, I would say McBride, only because, he has the ability, I think, right now with his situation to be leaned upon in a tremendous way with Kyler coming back. And I just think it might be a little downtick in value for him because if Kyler doesn't start week number 9, that you might be disappointed this week. But yeah, definitely Zamir White season is potentially on the horizon. Nothing super close, but grab him and stash him now. I'm telling you, there are several stashes that I would say you need to grab in 2023 week 9. I still think a lot of people are going to drop Spears because Henry didn't get traded, and that's going to deflate the balloon that a lot of people have. The expectation they had for Spears got deflated, so he's a great hold. I still think Warren is one of the better stashes right now. Very capable player if he gets in there. Charbonnet has no business being on anyone's waiver wire right now. I don't care what dilemma you have. Make a trade. You figure it out. You got a lot of time. Drop your kicker, pick him up, and then make a trade, and then pick your kicker back up. These are and even though everybody's thinking that this one's not going to be a big deal, big deal. This is still one of the craftier sleepers out there to hold and stash on your roster because goodness gracious, people, like this offense is humming from the running back perspective. ETN is on fire. These are the best stashes in fantasy football, and Zamir White is maybe at the bottom of it right now, but he needs to be added to the list. So put him on the list. Stash City right there. Appreciate everybody in here. Let's get to the rest of the news real quick, and then we'll get to the phone calls. So that is the AOC. We call him the good AOC. The good AOC is going to take over that nickname. AOC to the freaking moon. I love this kid. And in Superflex, make sure you grab him if he's there. Now, again, Matthew Stafford, who has a UCL sprain in his right thumb, is not practicing today. The Rams play Green Bay on Sunday. I do fully expect them to potentially sit him. So that news is out of the way. Let me put that over here. This news right here, DeMarcado. This is Pierce. Pierce did not practice on Wednesday. Keep an eye on this. Devin Singletary could be in line for a hefty workload, and he's already been scratching at the surface of taking over this job, nipping at the heels of Pierce. So this is bad news for Pierce and good news for Devin Singletary. Get ready for Devin Singletary to potentially have a bigger workload. This one's a little disappointing. I'm going to admit to you right now that I'm feeling a little bit down about this guy right here. Not down personally, but down for him. Jordan Love. ESPN reporting that the Packers are unsure of Jordan Love's future with the team. they've said mixed things before. I think that he has struggled in a major way, and he played amazingly to start the year. Let's not pretend that he wasn't a top 5 or 6 quarterback to start the year. And if you're sitting here listening to that and you raised your eyebrows and you're a little bit shocked, he was. Like, that's a fact. It's not about whether you think he was. He was. He scored 6 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks of the season. And he was a top 5 or 6 fantasy quarterback, depending on your scoring. He was either 5 or he was number 6. The upside's there. The problem is he seems rattled. I don't know if he's going to get back on track. But I think there's still an opportunity for this offense to get back in a groove if they get Aaron Jones in a situation where he's producing Aaron Jones type numbers of old. I just don't know if maybe Aaron Jones doesn't have it anymore. He is an older player and drop-offs happen quickly. So we'll have to play that by ear. But hopefully, for the sake of Watson, for the sake of Aaron Jones, we do get Jordan Love to bounce back a little bit. But I do think Love still has opportunity and ability. It's just going to be a crucial next couple weeks for him. If Love can bounce back in the next couple weeks, there'll be a lot of people jumping back on, I don't want to say the bandwagon, but they'll be jumping back on that. Okay, I that's good. He's developing. He's learning from his mistakes. He needs Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the glue. Similar to other teams that have that glue piece that gets knocked out with injury, and it's like the team falls apart. Gus Edwards, who has been, and even last night I gave a little too much disrespect to Gus Edwards on a trade question, and I was like, no, don't trade Gus. Don't trade for Gus Edwards. Is playing great. The last 2 games he has 3 touchdowns, but he's very injury prone, and even right now did not participate in Wednesday's practice. The thinking is that the lean in the news world is that he will play, but it feels like 65%, 60-40, 65, 35, something around that territory for him to be playing in week number 9. So hang tight on that, but Gus Edwards is injured right now. But everybody's kind of injured, so it's tough to know. Fields' thumb is not practicing. He's already been ruled out. Bagent will start one more game, so Fields is going to sit back and watch as the Chicago Bears try out Bagent one more time, because I think that Fields would play if they didn't have any faith in him, the rookie. But I do think that if he fails this week, Fields will be back in the next contest. DeAndre Hopkins' toe is questionable for week number 9 against the Steelers. Now, I would say this is a nothing burger, and this is just maintenance, but this popped up in a way that feels like maybe there's something to it. The lean is also that he's going to play week number 9. That is what the news worlds are leaning towards. That is what I'm getting a sense of. Those are the little birdies whispering in my ear, because I'm actually in Arizona, so I do have some people kind of closer to the situation than most. And I am hearing that because people know about Hopkins all the time. Look, Hopkins is still very, very loved in Arizona, so I miss him greatly. But I have a lot of people that have a lot of knowledge about Hopkins that are, even though he's in he's not here in Arizona anymore, but just love this guy so much. I despise the fact that he's not on a Cardinals roster anymore. I think the Cardinals didn't make a smart move getting rid of him. I think if they thought Kyler was going to come back at all this year, and I don't know that they knew that, getting rid of Hopkins was a mistake, because that was Kyler's way of, in my opinion, I think, smooth transitioning into a good recovery from his ACL tear. And to not have Hopkins in Arizona anymore is just devastating to me. I love Hopkins. I think he's an amazing player. I think he's probably got maybe this year left, though. So I understand why the Cardinals wanted to build, for 2024, given that this could be a throwaway season. But I just think that for what they got out of Hopkins, I don't feel that it was. I don't feel it was a move to make. Levis and Hopkins is a good connection. Absolutely. Appreciate you. But Hopkins, anyway, the word I'm getting from people that are still connected to the situation are that he's going to play. And so unless he has a setback of sorts, but Hopkins is a fantastic play if he's a go, because Levis clearly trusts him. Joe Mixon chest was limited in practice on Wednesday. This feels like there's something to it, but he'll probably play. but monitor the situation. We got to figure out, do we trust in Chase Brown? Do they trust in Chase Brown? Would Chase Brown even play if Mixon didn't play? Would that even be something that we would run to the waiver wire and pick up Chase Brown? I don't know. It's tough to say. Henderson's going to be getting the brunt of the work, probably, bro. Probably. Levis and Hopkins to the moon. Levis and Hopkins. The one thing about Hopkins is so special with Levis is that Hopkins, like he was in Arizona, like he was in Houston, like he was everywhere, he's a jump ball specialist. And so, you get Levis in a situation where he's trying to mature. He's working on his timing. He's working on his accuracy. He's working on reading defenses, which means he's going to throw the football into a congested area that he doesn't quite read properly. And defensive backs are going to converge on a pass, and Hopkins is going to be there to play jump ball. And he is one of the best jump ball players in the National Football League. So I love the fact that Hopkins is there for Levis if Levis is going to be a thing. And quite arguably, and I admitted I was wrong on Levis so far, I think we do need to keep in mind that majority of his yardage came on those touchdown grabs. So there is some concern that, there was a little bit of a paper tiger situation going on where we think he's bigger, stronger, better, badder than he really is. But we'll see. I mean, we're going to definitely see. He plays Thursday night. It's going to be exciting to watch. But Levis did get a majority of everything on touchdowns. And a couple of those touchdowns were not like beautiful touchdown throws. They're more so exciting touchdown plays where, Hopkins made a lot with a little and did absolutely fantastic work. So let's see here. Kyler pushes the ball differently, says Sick Nasty. Yeah, Kyler, I hate losing Hopkins. DeMarcado, another Cardinal player, or Cardinal topic, did not practice on Wednesday. This is a guy that we had as a big fab drop a couple weeks back, and then the news broke the next day that Ingram was the number one running back. Didn't make any sense, and then all of a sudden Ingram goes out, craps the bed. Then the next week they do go to DeMarcado, and he's been getting a majority of the work. Being banged up isn't great on a Wednesday, but we'll find out more tomorrow. I do expect him to probably play, but this one's about 50-50. But I am hearing a few people close to the situation, again, same people that are connected to the other situation. Despite, like I said, despite Hopkins not being here, they're very, very versed in these types of things. And I'm hearing that DeMarcado is probably going to be fine, but setbacks happen all the time. Aaron Jones hamstring practice in a limited capacity Wednesday. I'll be honest on this one. I have no feelers.
Motion detected.
I even have a lot of Green Bay connections, and I'm not hearing any sort of update whatsoever on whether he's going to be healthy or not, or what he's really looking like. We keep hearing from the team that he's not healthy, which is not good. You'd think they'd be covering that up or something. They're being honest and blunt about it, so that does tell you he's hurt. But these things have a tendency sometimes to either get out of control in a bad way, or to just kind of like he walks into the next week and he's not on the injury report anymore. And it's like, is he healthy? Like, how did this happen? So I don't know. The honest truth is I don't have any sort of lead or any insider information whatsoever on if Aaron Jones is going to pull through and become some sort of healthy bounce back monster. At this point, we have to assume that it could go either direction. Buying him low isn't a horrible idea if you're getting two players and the other player's outstanding and you're feeling like you got such a good deal on that other player in your one player trading away for two players, one of which would be Aaron Jones coming to your team. You feel so good about that second player that you're adding to your roster, you'll take the chance on Aaron Jones because you're struggling at RB. That's all I can tell you with Aaron Jones. I can't tell you with any certainty he will bounce back to form. I do know that Jordan Love probably will not bounce back to form if Aaron Jones does not bounce back to form. That just feels like a certainty at this point. This news right here is this is Darren Waller, another very disappointing piece of news. This guy can't get things straight. This guy can't get healthy. He's older for one. Kind of a not a guy I was super extra excited about. At times we were. It depended on his value. Sometimes he'd fall really late and he became a steal. And we admittedly talked about, okay, yeah, 7th round pick, why not? But whenever he climbed high, the natural reaction was always, okay, he's older and he can't stay healthy, and this offense is like, it's just bland. And so the fact that we're now hearing that Waller's frustrated, very frustrated, and remember the last time we heard that phrase, very frustrated? Whenever you hear a player frustrated, it usually means that they're going to be out a while. Okay, this is not something. JJ was frustrated. That's where we heard that last. JJ said he's very frustrated with his injury. He went on IR. So you don't say I'm frustrated when you're about ready to come back. This is a 1 week thing. You're normally like, we'll see how it goes. You know, I might be able to go. We're going to test it out. See, when you say this is frustrating, you're on the bench for a little while. That's usually what happens when you hear something like that. So I'm not expecting him. And Waller said it's literally going to be potentially weeks. The amount of weeks is not quite sure. It takes a little bit. It may take a little bit. That to me means that he's probably going to go on IR. If I had to guess, so we won't see him for a minimum of 4 weeks. And that's my guess. That hasn't been announced yet, but that's my guess because of this reaction. You would not come out and volunteer that kind of expectation if it wasn't bad. You wouldn't say that if you were 1, maybe 2 weeks away. So Darren Waller is about to disappoint everybody, I think, in a major, major way, and he's already done that all year long. This one here from Ian Rappaport retweeting this Cameron Wolf tweet. It says, Titans have ruled out Ryan Tannehill, so Will Levis will make his second career start Thursday against the Steelers. That's going to be an exciting day. Nice, probably, I'd say, like, potential to be a boring game, but will be kind of nice in the respect of, I don't know, just seeing a team, seeing Pickens maybe get on his horse, maybe seeing Hopkins, if he can play, Derrick Henry. I mean, there's some good fantasy football assets here that maybe in this battle between these two teams could somehow be in a satisfactory way, relatively good scoring. I believe there's a potential for that. But Thursday night games have been better than normal. This feels like maybe it could have a hint of the old Thursday night feel, where you're left a lot to be desired. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Levis has a day. I'm hopeful Levis proves everybody right, everybody wrong, including myself. I do believe that there's some potential for him to do well now, though. So I'm not saying I'm necessarily on board, but I'm certainly open-minded to Levis doing his thing. So congrats to Levis. This one, Aiden O'Connell, again, will start for the Raiders going forward. We just feel like he gives us the best chance. And the other report earlier that I put up, it said he was the best quarterback on the team, which is what we've been saying since the Jimmy G signing. Kenny Pickett, ribs, is a full participant, and today in practice has no game status. He'll play on Thursday Night Football. So this is good for Pickens. We were a little bit worried about what this would do for Pickens' production, because Pickett to Pickens is a thing. That's his favorite wide receiver. Any kind of shakeup would definitely impact, I think, Pickens. So Pickens is a good play on Thursday. If you've got him, start him. Now let's hit the super chats and then get to the phone calls. Appreciate you all. I'm going to hit this super chat. Derek, you're the first super chatter of the night. You get a standing O. My boy Derek. Derek says, any moves, 5-3 super flex PPR, Hurts, Pacheco, Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, Love, Roshan. Okay. I would say, like, this team's pretty solid. I mean, you're dependent on the Gibbs Pacheco running back crew, which it's got its pros and cons, right? I mean, there's no beating around the bush here. There's no guarantee with Gibbs, but there's a lot of excitement. There's no guarantee with Pacheco, but there's a lot of excitement. Could both teams kind of change directions and how they use both of them? Sure. Could Garrett Wilson rebound like we predicted he would walking into last week? One of the best buy low wide receivers in fantasy, a wide receiver 1 at the low end, yes, but at the low end, he was in a wide receiver 1 bucket, in my opinion, walking into week 8, and he certainly delivered on those expectations. Their schedule's so much better than it was. Things are looking more promising. Aaron Rodgers might return at some point this year. You can laugh at that all you want, but Aaron Rodgers is out there throwing passes, cutting, or planting and twisting, and he's probably closer than anybody realizes. I'm not saying games, but maybe a months or something. We don't even know. It could be a month and a half. It really could. No one really knows. He could push it as much as he wants. As far as this team, I probably keep the RBs. I probably keep everything intact, other than maybe I'm looking to. I mean, you're waiting on HN. I'm throwing Olave into my lineup still. I'm not benching Olave. I think Downs might be safer, sure. Like I'm okay with that, but you know, to this level, I would say keeping Achane and Olave on this team makes me feel, and DJ Moore makes me feel very comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with this team. If it didn't have those pieces, I wouldn't be as comfortable. But I definitely feel like in general, I'm moving Olave into the lineup. I'm not keeping him on the bench. But who's your super flex quarterback? Love. Okay, so you got Love, and you also have T-Law. Okay, I'm comfortable with T-Law as your second quarterback. I'd say stand down. There's no real move to make. There's no sell high player unless you could sell Love. And I know it's not the best move to sell your third quarterback in a super flex because it's advantageous to have 3 for bye weeks and injuries, et cetera, et cetera. But maybe, I don't know, maybe O'Connell's out there and you can pick him up. But I would look at an opportunity to trade like DJ Moore and Love for a Devontae Smith. May not be possible anymore. He was a great buy low last week. Other players, Bijan is great to buy low. I think you know, maybe you could go get a Cooper Kupp potentially in that situation. Other than that, Derek, I'd probably stand down a week. But I would look to make those moves, but those moves kind of alone. Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp. Gibbs to get Olave, Puka on hold. I would say I'd rather have Gibbs right now over Olave, my guy. You know, I just think Gibbs is on fire, bro. And I think that it's going to continue. $20 hauler from Oscar doing Oscar things in here.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Oscar, my boy. Coming in strong, Oscar. Appreciate you, pal. $20 hauler. 6-2, 12-man team. Half PPR. Hurts, Walker, Kamara, JJ, Amon-Ra, Goddard, Watson. Okay, Hopkins. Let's see here. What's the trade? My Kamara and Gabe Davis for A.J. Brown and Stevenson. I would take A.J. Brown and Stevenson because I feel like Stevenson, even though he's not bouncing back at all yet, there's a chance for it. There's a chance for it. I'm not saying Gabe Davis is trash. I'm just saying you give me A.J. Brown the way he's playing. You give me the shot at Stevenson rebounds. I would rather have that side of the trade, just player for player. Looking at your team, though, the fact that you have Walker, and that would be your RB. You don't have Achane anywhere, right, for later or anything like that. It definitely puts you in a risky situation. But A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, and JJ, and eventually JJ right now, JJ's on the bench, so you kind of have a hold no matter what, right? It's kind of like you're using this as a flex play in a way. I definitely personally would do the trade, but that's me. Kamara's fantastic. A.J. Brown's just on another level right now. They're both playing great, but A.J. Brown for me. But that's a really close call. If the chat disagrees or agrees, please drop your opinion in the chat on that one. If you take the A.J. Brown side or if you take the other side. Isaac with the super chat. I'm going to put these on screen in the order in which they were received, so I appreciate everybody dropping these. Oscar, thank you for yours. I'm going to put yours right there. I'm just going to pile these up. You're going to see your super chat and kind of know how far away you are. So hang tight and get ready for me to answer your super chat. Just give me 1 second. Ozzy, let me put Ozzy right here. Christian Silva right here. We got another $20 hauler from Smokin' Jay. Appreciate Smokin' right here. Let me put you right here, pal. I'm going to come for you next. All $20 haulers get immediate assistance. So let me throw you right here, or as immediate as I see it. Sam, thank you for your super chat. Matt, appreciate your super chat. We'll put you right there, pal. We've got Coop with a $10 hauler. Coop, I got you right here. We got AS right here for $4.99. We got Racing Boy with the $4.99. Racing Boy, appreciate you. We got Lucio with a $2. Appreciate you. We got Cody. And then we've got this other one here, and then I think I've got all of them on screen as of this moment at least. So I appreciate everybody dropping their super chat in the building. Smokin' Jay with a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Smokin' Jay. Ow! I just hit my elbow again. Smitty, I'm hurting 2-6. Someone wants to trade me Thielen and Collins for Amon-Ra. Here, I want you to send him this right here. This is my response. First of all, I'm a little bit embarrassed that I put you in a position, Smokin' Jay, to where you thought that this was a good trade. Okay? That's on me. That's not on you. I don't want you to feel bad at all. This is on me. I'll take a lap for not putting you in a better position to know that this was a horse crap trade offer. But at 45 minutes and 7 seconds into this show, you said this to your pal that just sent you the worst trade offer I've ever seen in my life. Collins and Thielen for Amon-Ra?
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
I mean that's awful, bro. That is pathetic. That is a pathetic trade offer. That's insulting. I'm embarrassed. You know when someone else does something so embarrassing and embarrasses you, and I'm not even a part of it? I'm embarrassed right now. I have Geno, Wilson, Watson, Kincaid. Do I make room do I drop? Who do I drop to make room for another wide receiver? I mean, your worst player is probably, I guess, Roshan right now. I'd rather have Bigsby than Roshan as a stash, but I probably would say, I mean, Geno's maybe your worst player, but you kind of need him it's an awful quarterback though. Is that Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson? I think those are three putrid quarterback. We got to get you a different quarterback, Joe. You got to get into Kyler somehow. Make sure Kyler's not on waivers, Joe. Make sure he's not on waivers. O'Connell's even maybe somebody to pick up. I would look into it, Smokin' Joe. But definitely don't do that trade. And as far as like what you should be doing for trades, I would say, you know, trading Amon-Ra away is not horrible, but you got to get it. You got to get some value. That's awful. You need to get like a Achane and Ridley, you know, or Achane and Olave or something like that for Amon-Ra. How we doing? Can we trade Puka? Thank you again for the $20 hauler, Smokin' Joe. If you got a follow-up, let me know. Or maybe the phone lines, when we open it up, you can dial in and we can maybe work something out for you with you. How are we doing? Can we trade Puka and Pickens for Davante and Montgomery? I think that's doable because Monty does come back. And I do believe, and as I've said over and over, I think Gibbs isn't going away, but Monty will still get 100 yards and a touchdown at every other game. It's still going to be a good season for Monty. Send Lockett and Pierce for Douglas and Javonte Williams. I would definitely take Javonte Williams, pal. I like that Williams side. I think Williams is maybe here to stay, and I like what I see. Skins pass catchers value up by D-line. D-line. I don't know what all that means, Lucio, but I appreciate you, and I do agree. I think the way that Dotson looked was fantastic. The way Howell's been playing, fantastic. Traded Kincaid and Swift for St. Brown and Jacobs. Now I'm flipping Jacobs for Evans and Gibbs. I think overall you did good there at the end of the day. Fantastic job. I mean, Swift is solid, and Kincaid I love, but I mean, St. Brown's a great buy low. You turn that into St. Brown, Gibbs, and Evans. You smash that trade into a million pieces, bro. Congratulations on that one. That's how you do it. 7-1 from AS. 7-1. 16-team half PPR. 16-team is tough. Trade Christian Watson for Kyler Murray. Of course, I would do that in a 16-team league where quarterbacks are hard to come by. Running backs are Bijan, Warren. Trade Waddle and Warren for Javonte Williams and Deontay Johnson. I would say no. I'm tempted because I love Williams, but you're buying Williams at a price he hasn't earned yet. We're excited for it, but we can't value him there yet. I'd rather have Waddle, and I still think Jalen Warren's productive. $10 hauler from Cooper. And Jalen Warren is also one of the stashes that I think could potentially win leagues, so I still kind of quietly like him more than the average bear. 3 and 5, 8-man standard. Hurts, Eckler, Saquon, Kupp, Moore, Goddard, Deontay, Ridley, and Javonte on buys. Looking to move Kupp, Barkley, Moore for guys already have buys. No one is accepting trades. Need advice. Well, I mean, I can't really help you if no one's accepting trades, but obviously Walker is a great player to go get right now because he's bye week free. Eckler, those are the two RBs. But if no one's trading, I don't know what to tell you other than you trade Barkley and DJ Moore for Eckler, and I do that. I would do that. If you can get a little more, I would. Would I trade Kupp away for Walker and a Ridley, or Walker and a wide receiver that is feeling like they're a garbage player, to somebody else that you feel like another man's trash is your treasure. Even if it's a 2-for-1 deal where you're getting Ridley for a wide receiver 3 that's been doing really well and he thinks Ridley's trash, or same thing with Olave. You're trading away a wide receiver that, like Thielen, and you're getting Olave in a swap that also has you downgrading Barkley into an Achane, and you float for a while with Achane. But Achane is probably an easier player to trade for and a guy I like anyway, pal, because Achane is one of those guys that if the owner has him, he's waiting so long for him that he might be willing to trade him away now when he needs it most. He needs wins. And Achane, you may not get people to trade away good players right now that are popping off, but you can get somebody to trade an injured player a lot easier. $20 hauler from Chris.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Chris, appreciate you dropping the super chat, my guy. Chris is 8-0. Thanks to you. No, thanks to you, Chris. Josh Allen, Breece Hall, Jacobs, Adams, Amon-Ra, Kelsey, Achane, Rice, Tank Dell. Very good team. I was offered Chase and Bijan for Allen and Jacobs and Achane. I would say no. Josh Allen is part of the reason you're 8-0. Don't even screw this up, bro. Don't even consider it. Just leave your team the way it is. Achane's going to come back on a tear. You're 8-0. You don't even need to wait. You can wait on Achane. You don't even need to make a trade. Absolutely not. Not making this trade whatsoever. Would I trade Jacobs away? Absolutely. I think his value goes up a little bit, though, so you might even want to wait a week if your deadline is not right now to trade, and I'll potentially look to move him. And cross-position trades are easier than going and getting a running back. So given the Breece Hall, you'll have Achane coming back. A little bit risky to have, to go like running back, needy for a couple games waiting for Achane to return, but you could maybe pick up our RB, maybe Jalen Warren's out there or something like that. Spears, eventually will be, doing some decent stuff, I think. So there's potential to fill a Jacobs void if you go and get a monster wide receiver. But I like your team. Your team's balling for a reason. Amon-Ra, Adams, Kelsey, very, very good. But if you can't even start more than the 2 wide receivers because it's 2 wide receivers and a flex, then maybe you just stand pat right now. Unless you can maybe upgrade Jacobs by using Dotson. So like Jacobs and Dotson for JT. That's probably, actually, you know what? I take back everything I said. That's the route I'm taking if I'm you. Use Dotson, use Howell, use DeMarcado, use all these pieces on the bench that have, potential value, especially the Dotson, week, and try and get Jacobs into a JT. Jacobs into a player you might like just a hair better than Jacobs. And if you love Jacobs, let Jacobs ride for a week and then play it by ear. So thank you for your $20 hauler. You are the man, the myth, the legend, my boy. Appreciate you. Maddie with a 5 spot. Maddie, appreciate you. Maddie says drop Kincaid or for Ingram. I personally don't think I'm dropping. I feel like the tight end market, drop your kicker and then buy yourself some time to make a trade. People need a tight end badly. You drop Ingram, he's going to get picked up right away. Tight end 1, Laporta. I'd rather have Kincaid, especially if you have Laporta. You can take a gamble on the more upside guy. But I would definitely make a trade, and it shouldn't be hard. It should not be hard. Drop your kicker, pick up, keep all 3 and make a trade. 7-1 Hurts, Devonta Smith, Ayuk, Etienne, Eckler, Kelsey, Addison. Working on a trade, Etienne and Addison for Pollard and Kupp. I'd probably take Pollard and Kupp, but it is tough because Etienne's playing on a whole nother level right now. And Addison, I think Addison's okay with Dobbs once Dobbs is in there, but Dobbs won't be in there right away. I think Etienne's on a whole nother level, but I do believe Pollard is still very, very good, and Kupp is a huge upgrade over Addison, in my opinion, given the situation. If Kirk Cousins was still on the table here, I'd probably say that I would lean toward the Etienne side, but with Kirk Cousins not in play, bro, I don't know if that's something I could stomach, passing up on the Pollard Kupp side. But as far as other additions or moves, I would say, I think your team looks really good. You have a lot of players I like, and I don't really want to move any of those guys other than trying to get rid of Addison for, moves like you're trying. But I don't love the idea of getting rid of ETN. But I certainly love keeping Eckler. He's bye week free. It's a great situation to be in, bro. You got a good team there. Nice job, broski. James, appreciate your super chat. Whoops, I just hit the wrong button here. Michael, I got yours on there. I got James Foster's right here. Put that right there. Thanks, James. Appreciate you. I'm coming for your super chats, guys. $5 holler. Got an offer. My Lamb in London for Jackson and Sky Moore. 2 QB league. Yeah, I mean, look, without even looking at anything, and I do see your quarterbacks, taking a little peek there at the next sentence. But Lamar Jackson's got tremendous value above Lamb and London, even both of them in a Superflex. Superflex is a whole different monster. You got to smash that trade. Lamar in a Superflex is worth way more than Lamb. Even though Lamb just blew up, and I know some 1 QB people might be unsure of how that's possible, but Superflex is a whole different monster. Gibbs, Addison, Logan for Adams and Kincaid. Gibbs, Addison, Logan, Thomas for Addison, Kincaid. I'd probably lean on the Gibbs-Addison side. I think Addison's not close to Adams at this moment in time, given the O'Connell news, the AOC starting in Las Vegas. But I do feel like Addison's close enough that I can't get rid of Gibbs. $10 hollers get moonshots. This is a $13.99 from the man, the myth, the legend, Cam. Cam says 8-man league, 5-3. Mahomes, Kyler, Brees, Achane, Jones, Javonte, Spears, Lamb, Tyreek, T. Higgins, Downs, JSN, McBride, Kincaid, Ingram, and he moves. Got offered Lamb and Ingram and Kyler for Hopkins and JT and Joe B and Swift and Garrett Wilson. Wait, what the hell's going on here? Got offered Lamb and Ingram and Kyler for Hopkins and JT. Okay, that's one trade. So I'm gonna say probably take the JT and Hopkins side over the Lamb side, given that your quarterback's Mahomes. But there's some risk with Hopkins because he is banged up. Or Joey B and Swift and Garrett Wilson for Patty, Lamb, and Javonte. I'm not trading Patty and Lamb. No, that one I don't like. The other trade's tempting, but at the same time, Lamb's on fire. So keeping Lamb is not bad, but JT and Hopkins is pretty good. I probably lean toward that, but just barely, bro. Just barely. Minshew or Levis, I'd probably go Minshew for safety, Levis for a higher risk, higher reward type play. I don't know about playing the defense against your QB. It never seems to be the smartest move. I don't like when people do that, but I don't know that I would. I'd probably say Levis for upside. You need a big swing. You want to make a splash, go Levis. If you want safety, go Minshew. I think that Levis has the potential to go big or go home. Like it's probably one of those situations where he literally goes out and either proves everybody wrong again, or he craps the bed hardcore, and we're like, whoa, what do we think now? So you got to pick your poison there. Should I trade Swift for Devonta Smith? I'd rather Devonta Smith. I've been preaching him all last 2 or 3 weeks, and he finally had a big game. I think Swift is good. I don't think Swift is bad. I think Swift has good value, but I'd rather have Devonta Smith. Mr. Arizona, should I keep Michael Wilson and see how he looks with Kyler? Depends on your option, Thomas, but I would say in a vacuum, my answer in general would be, yeah, I like him a lot. I'd see what's what. I mean, I do think he's a good wide receiver. He's inconsistent, one, because he's a rookie. Rookies are inconsistent. Downs will be inconsistent. He won't be fire all year long. He'll have some moments where he does dip. That's just the nature of rookie wide receivers. Jamar Chase did it his rookie year, if you remember. He was absolute in a big freaking multi-game slump. It was like a month long. And that was when I was saying, buy. And he kept slumping. And I was like, buy. And he kept slumping. And I said, buy. And I started actually getting a little worried that I was going to stray everybody the wrong way, because he wasn't bouncing back. And then, boom, he exploded. And he won people league single-handedly, Jamar Chase's rookie year. I feel like, that's going to happen for receivers. I'm not calling Michael Wilson that guy. I'm not even calling Downs that guy. But rookies are up and down. Even the best of them is my point. Hey, Smitty, I feel crazy for asking, but what are your thoughts on trading for Javonte? I was low on him coming into the season, but he seems like he's back. I definitely like him. It depends on what you're going to have to give up, but I definitely like him. And I think buying him is actually pretty smart right now. I just think it's got to be a nice buy low. Smitty, who do I flex? DJ Moore or Pickens? Probably Pickens this week until DJ Moore gets, Fields back. I just feel like, and let me pull up the stats from last week. DJ Moore last week had, what did he have? Finished with 4 for 55. Week before that, 54 yards, 51 yards, no touchdowns in 3 straight weeks. I just don't see signs of life that are worth giving up the idea of Pickens, bro. Like, Pickens is a top 12 wide receiver talent-wise. Top 8, maybe. Like, talent-wise, you could say he's not fantasy-wise, whatever, but top 8 talent-wise, top 8 to 12 talent-wise, absolutely. I'm just not going to sit him. Drop Dell for a QB on the waiver wire. I currently have Love and Fields. It depends on who the QB is, Top Gun. I mean, if it's Kyler, I'd smash that. If it's Howell, I smash that. If it's like O'Connell or something, it's more of a tough spot because I do like Dell. But I do think, that's not a bad move. Dell's definitely still has appeal. I still like Dell a lot. Let's go to Cam. Says Jones and McBride for Pacheco. I would take, depending on your quarterback or your tight end situation, if McBride's not your starter, I'd take Pacheco. That's not bad. It's a good move. Pacheco's got a lot of good value, bro. I think that's not a bad move at all. James just traded Jacoby for Cooper. I'd rather have Cooper, but it's not like that's an easy call, But I'd rather have Cooper. Michael with a $2 hauler. 4-4 went 0 running back. Tyreek and Diggs and Pollard. Tyreek for Diggs and Pollard. I'd take Diggs and Pollard over Tyreek. Definitely. If you've got no RBs is what you're telling me. And my guess is you're struggling a little bit, right? You got Tyreek and you're not winning. You kind of got to make that move. That's what people do when they have a guy like CMC or Tyreek and they're not winning. You've got to divide and conquer. And that's probably the best trade you could possibly get. Full PPR trade away St. Brown for Breece Hall. I'd rather have... They're equal. Current team, Josh Allen, Pierce, Lamb, Amon-Ra. The problem with your team is it's so balanced. Like, if you do this trade, you're damned at wide receiver. If you don't, you're damned at running back a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. Like it's not like this is an easy call. I would say St. Brown has a tiny bit more value, so I feel like you should be getting a little bit more back. Not that I don't love Breece as much. I'm just saying fair market value-wise. $10 hauler from my boy Shelby. Any moves? 12-man PPR. I'm 4-4. I have Tua and Kyler, Kamara, Swift, Breece, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Judy, Achane, and Njoku, Cole Kmet. I don't know. Same thing I tell anybody with your situation. You have Kyler, and that's good value. And you did a smart move by grabbing him, stashing him. Now you got to use it. If you don't, that's your way out of this situation. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm saying 4-4. You want to make a home run splash. Kyler, upgrade Swift using Kyler. Go get a running back you like just a little bit more. Eckler, maybe even JT. Potentially. Kamara and Breece are so good, you could literally go after a wide receiver. You could say, and you got Achane too. I would say Kyler and Njoku or Kmet to go get Andrews. If the Andrews owner is struggling bad at quarterback, you just got to go to those quarterback needy teams and try and figure out a way to give them Kyler Murray. And if you feel like you can't win, which honestly I think you can. I think standing down is probably smarter for you. I think you had some bad luck. Achane coming back is going to be phenomenal for you. I think your team, you got Breece coming around, Garrett Wilson coming around. I don't think you got to do a move at all. But would I try and make that tight end move? Yes. Would I try and upgrade Swift a tiny bit? Yes. But past that, I think you've got one of those stand down teams for sure. And that boy with a $10 hauler
to the moon.
Appreciate you, that boy, for dropping your super chat. 2 QB, 3 wide receiver, 10 team. Burrow, Herbert, good QBs. Puka, Devontae Smith, Dotson, Pollard, Walker, Kincaid, Saquon. 2-7. Wow. Need a wide receiver bad. Elite ones are not attainable. Any solid 2s. I love Ridley. more than anybody. You know, I love Olave. You know, I like Cooper Kupp on the low right now. Waddle, Debo. Debo's probably the most attractive buy low right now because he's not only going on a bye week, but people are a little uncertain about his status. You know, and Sanders is trash. I'd trade Sanders away. I don't know if you can send McBride and, you know, go to the QB or the tight end needy teams and send McBride or Kincaid to that team to try and get, you know, a deal done. But I think those wide receivers come to mind. I think Olave, Ridley, Davante Smith to some degree still, because I think some people still doubt him. Waddle, Debo, those are all the wide receivers I would attack, and I'd use that tight end and go to the teams that maybe need a tight end and go from there, because that's your way in. That's a fantastic one. $20 hauler from Michael Smith.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Michael, appreciate you. Half PPR, 10-team records 4-4. How can I improve this team? Love Howell, Fields. Well, a quarterback would be nice. Christian Watson, Nico, Ayuk, St. Brown. Okay, so St. Brown, Ayuk is not horrible, and Nico, that's pretty formidable. Running backs, Bijan Robinson, Tony Pollard. That's very solid. Andrews, solid. So, Hawkinson, I'm asking myself, why in the hell do you have two tight ends? Why in the hell? Not only why do you have two tight ends, why do you have two tight ends this long? And there's nobody trading in this league, or what? Like, you got to trade one of those tight ends unless there's some weird scoring format. That does you no advantage. Anybody that drafts two tight ends in a row thinks they're cornerstoning the market. It's just devastating to your lineup. This is why your running backs and quarterback are a little bit shaky. You need to trade Hawkinson or Andrews, one of the two. I would trade one of them straight up for Patrick Mahomes and give them Sam Howell if I needed to. That would be a phenomenal move for your starting lineup. I would trade Howell and go to the QB needy team, go to the tight end needy teams, find out what they have, probably bring that back to me, Michael, because I could throw out a bunch of hypotheticals, but until I know what those teams have, I can't really tell you. Cook up about 2-3 offers and send them to me. This, and it would be Howell, and maybe you find a team that needs a tight end and a quarterback, very possible, and you could send Howell and Hawkinson for Tony Pollard, bro, for Bijan, you know. You got Bijan. I'm sorry, wide receiver. Cooper Kupp, Tony Pollard. Or sorry, Sam Howell and Hawkinson for Kupp. Sam Howell and Hawkinson for Diggs. Probably not going to get that, but maybe you throw in a wide receiver like Nico Collins and they do it. Christian Watson, whatever. Sam Howell and Hawkinson for CeeDee Lamb. I think you can get those kind of things, bro, pretty easily and fix this team, turn it around. Dad Bod Warriors, $5 hauler. Appreciate you. Trade away Goddard and Amari Cooper for Davante Smith. It's a lot to ask, but I would probably do it. I like Davante that much. I like Davante Smith that much. Full PPR, trade Higgins and Christian Watson for Waddle. Probably, just because I like the Miami offense enough, but it is an overpay, but it's okay. Dynasty trade Addison for Javonte. I'd rather have Addison and PPR, but if you can win now, and I know it's Dynasty, maybe I do take Javonte, but I think Addison's got more value from a Dynasty perspective, so I hesitate to tell you to do it straight up. I feel like you should get a little more on this one. But it's a good question, and if the chat wants to weigh in on this, Dynasty, Addison, Javonte is running back 2 is Ford. Ford's not that bad, though. Ford's not bad. I think I just lean Addison a little bit because running backs are we don't fully know if Javante's going to be leaned upon. We're hopeful, right? But he's also an RB, and RBs have a shorter shelf life. So I lean Addison. Adams for London or Ayuk, and Ayuk and Achane. I would trade Adams for Ayuk and Achane for sure. I don't know about London and Achane. Maybe, probably still, but I'd rather have the other side, the Ayuk side, by quite a bit. And that's me liking the Adams value a lot more with O'Connell. Just traded away Davante Smith and Olave for Cooper Kupp in London. I think if Olave bounces back, that could be an even trade. If he doesn't, then the Cooper Kupp side wins. But there's still the moving parts of Stafford, and does Stafford, stay healthy? Tough to say. If that's the case, we'll know soon enough. But Cole, appreciate you dropping the super chat. Stafford is definitely a concern, But right now he's not out for the year, but the UCL is a very, very complex situation. It's not like he has like a sprained ankle he's getting over. It's a UCL. It's a sprained UCL. We don't know how he's going to respond to it. Laporta, Kincaid plus Watson, Kupp, Metcalf for Bijan. Laporta, Kincaid. Okay, so one or the other, right? Okay, so let's call it Kincaid. Kincaid plus Watson. Are these and ors, Matt? This is a lot to decipher. There's 100,000 combinations here. Let's say Kincaid and Cooper for Bijan. Sure, if you got Laporta, do it. Metcalf becomes a little bit harder, but maybe. Laporta and Metcalf, probably not right now, but maybe. I mean, because you got Kincaid, I want you to get something. As soon as Bijan goes nuts, he'll be worth this. So it's not like if you did this, I wouldn't be mad at you. But Taysom's a nice tight end as well, though. Taysom at tight end, any combo would make sense there for you. I would say, I think you're acquiring these players because you're saying Taysom's your tight end. So Laporta, it sounds like you're sending Laporta away, but I think you're acquiring him. I mean, Taysom's not bad, bro. Would I take Laporta and Metcalf for Bijan? It depends on your running backs, but I don't know that I love that trade because I love Bijan that much. But that's not horrible. But would I rather have Bijan and Taysom Hill, like in a vacuum? Probably. So that's why I'd probably say no. But I don't hate it. DK and Laporta for Bijan's not crazy. It's just what happens if Bijan doesn't do anything and then you turn it down, and what happens if Bijan explodes and you don't have him. Stephon Diggs for Justin Jefferson and Davante Adams. I'd rather have JJ and Adams in a heartbeat. That's a lot of value. Cole with a $5 hauler just traded away Devonta Smith and Olave for Cooper, Kupp, and London. Oh, I already got this one. Yeah, I think if Olave bounces back, the Olave side makes it even, but Cooper, Kupp is the better side. Mateo, trade CD and Najee for Pollard and Higgins. That's tough. I would probably bank on Pollard if it was me, but CD just went crazy, and Najee's garbage. So it really comes down to, do you believe in Pollard or not? If you don't, then this is a bad trade. If Pollard doesn't bounce back, it's a bad trade. CD Lamb is that good. But I would probably, if you aren't winning with CD, and I assume that's maybe why you're asking. If you're winning, don't make a move at all. Don't make a change whatsoever. This one here from Mike, and then we'll open the phone lines after these two super chats. $10 hauler goes to the moon. Appreciate you, my guy. Mike, my man. Mike says, 12-team PPR, 4-4. Do I have any trades? T-Law, Carr, ETN. Pick Mayer over Ferguson. I'd probably rather have Mayer, but that's close. A lot of people would say Ferguson, but I trust Mayer more with O'Connell. As far as trades, you're waiting on Achane. You got 3 amazing running backs. You need a quarterback upgrade, maybe. I'd definitely toy around with getting Tua or Mahomes if the price is right. Olave's concerning, but what are you going to do? Sell him? Ridley, I like Ridley. I like your team. I'm going to say stand down for now. You're waiting on Achane. You got the right running backs. I'm trying to get Tua. I'm trying to get Burrow. I'm trying to get Kyler maybe. If I could trade, maybe go to the Kyler owner and see what they'll give you. I wouldn't trade ETN, Bijan, or Achane, and I wouldn't necessarily trade, Diggs in any sort of deal, but like Olave or Ridley to get Kyler wouldn't be the worst move, or you just bank on T-Law and wait a week and stand down. So it's kind of tough. Dadball Warriors to St. Brown, Cooper for Diggs. I'd probably rather have Diggs, but it's very close, and St. Brown's playing amazing football right now. So that's close, though. $10 hauler from Troy. Troy, appreciate you with the 10 spot. Thank you, my broski. 3-5, T-Law, Stroud, Bijan, Pollard, Swift, Henderson, Watson, Laporta, Kincaid, looking to get a wide receiver. Running back needy team has Adams, Mahomes, Monty, Myers, Thielen, Godwin. I don't like any of those players other than Mahomes and Adams, and then Monty when he's back. I don't love Thielen like everybody else. I just think he's older. I'm not going after him now, chasing the points. It's not that he didn't do well, didn't prove me wrong, but I'm not chasing the points on that. As far as Adams, like, yeah, I mean, would I trade Henderson or Swift for Adams? Yeah. Do you have to give up more? Probably. Can you give up Laporta or Kincaid? You said that the looking to get a wide receiver, running back needy team. So he's running back needy, but not tight end needy. If he's not tight end needy, then you can't. But you have Laporta and Kincaid. You need to go to the tight end needy team and try and get a wide receiver that way, because that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. You're going to get rid of Henderson and one of your tight ends to get a wide receiver without giving up the RB. Would I give up Swift or Henderson for Adams? Absolutely. Would I give up one of the tight ends with Henderson for Adams? Maybe. Would I give up Rice or Watson? Yes. Would I give up Ridley and Henderson for Adams? Probably. Yeah. And would I love to get Mahomes somehow? Absolutely. But I don't know what he's going to do there. Like, would I give up Swift and Stroud for Mahomes? Yes. I do that. That would be a good move. And maybe he's willing to do that. Would I give up any of your quarterbacks with Swift if he's running back needy to get Mahomes? Yeah. Mahomes has been struggling, dude. That's probably the move to make. I know you wanted to accomplish something different, but that's the move I would make. Why are you high on Achane? Probably because he's straight Saturn material, pal. He's a fantastic RB. David, the question is, why would I not be high on Davante Adams? He's a top 5 running back whenever he's on the football field. He's an absolute straight-up monster. Love him. I'd love for you to call in, and I'm not mad at you at all, and I appreciate your super chat, but I'd love for you to call in, and you asked that for a reason, and I want to know what's making you doubt him. That's all. I'm not trying to, argue with you, but I would love for you to call in and tell me what you're thinking. Traded Hendo for Kyler. I think that's an absolute smash. I think Kyler could return to form. Will he return to form for sure? Will he be rusty? I don't know. But certainly worth that. $10 holler from
to the moon.
My boy Scotty. Scotty, appreciate you. Scotty says trade ideas 10-team half PPR 2-6 in this league. Dak, Komet, had Cousins. Running backs Walker, Bijan, Gibbs, Roshan, Sharps, Herbert to IR, St. Brown, Ridley, Hopkins, Watson. I mean, it's a good squad. St. Brown, Ridley, Hopkins is really, really solid. Walker, Bijan, Gibbs. I don't think there's much here other than you're trying to trade Hopkins or Watson with maybe... I mean, would I trade Gibbs for Mahomes like I was saying with the Swift? Absolutely. And that's me loving Gibbs, bro. I love Gibbs. But would I give up Gibbs for Mahomes? Would I give up Dak and Gibbs for Mahomes? I probably would. I'd try and get something back. Past that, Scotty, this is a hold team. You know, like Tua or Kyler, potentially by using like Hopkins at the very, very most. Or maybe that's it. I don't even know that I use anything else. Flowers, Hopkins, Christian Watson to get into Kyler, and that's it. That's really the only move that I would even contemplate making. These super chats right here, appreciate you guys dropping these. De Leon, Clayton. I'm gonna open phone lines in just a second. 10 team 6-2, great team. How do I prep for the playoffs? I don't see your team, so I don't know. But I would say if you're 6-2, you're doing all the right things. I wouldn't worry so much about schedule. I would just make sure you have the best players you believe in and you let it ride. I would not plan so much for schedules. People that do that, they lose value because they're chasing players. So I'm not going to advise you to do anything weird or unusual. Just make sure you have the guys you believe in that are going to go on a tear down the stretch. Schedules are so volatile. And look how good the Niners schedule looked. Then it's not been good. Now they're making trades. Maybe their defense looks good again. It's hard to know. Gibbs and Wilson for Jamar Chase. Thanks. Gibbs and Wilson for Jamar Chase. I would say give me Jamar Chase. But if you could get something a little extra, that would be very, very nice, bro. Very, very nice. Clayton, $5 holler. Trade T-Law, Ridley, Javonte for Adams and Herbert. I would take Adams and Justin Herbert over T-Law, Ridley, Javonte. Absolutely. That's an easy question, bro. That's a very, very cakewalk question. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. Daniel says we should have more subs on here. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Okay, so phone lines are open. Dial into the phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Brought to you by Christopher Smith and Wheel Snipe City, a.k.a. Sully. highest super chatters of the month of October and November. We merged it together because they dropped these like kind of late in the month. So if anybody knocks off Christopher Smith 430, they will become the sole owner of the phone line. So dial into the Christopher Smith and Wheel Snipe City phone line right now, broskies. Do it live. 30-second phone calls, and that's it. I'm going to be very strict on these phone calls today, boys. So I'm going to go to James. James, you got 30 seconds, bro. And if you're still talking, you're going to hear that hang up.
I'm gonna go fast. I got 2 trade offers on the table right now that I can just accept. So the first one, I receive Javonte Williams, and I give up Tua and Kincaid.
What's your quarterback
What are
situation?
your thoughts on that one?
What's your quarterback situation?
I have Josh Allen, so.
So you're giving up Javonte to get Tua and Kincaid, but you have Josh Allen.
No. I'm giving up Tua and Kincaid to get Javonte.
It's look, I like Javonte, but you're giving up way too much.
Okay. Here's the other trade that I like a lot more.
You got to call on for it, pal. You're past your 30. Jay, you got 30. Yeah, I warned him. I said I'm hanging up on you. You got to get it in. You got 30 seconds. Jay, go.
Yo, what's up, Smitty? So I'm trying to trade one of my running backs for a wide receiver. I was wondering if I could ask you which running back you would want me to keep. So I got Achane, Monty, Gibbs, Swift, Hall.
I mean, you know what I'm gonna say, bro. So I'm keeping Hall. I'm keeping Achane. Those are my 2 favorite, and Gibbs is my 3rd favorite. I'm trading Monty, and I'm trading Swift before I'm trading those other guys. I don't want to trade these 3. I'm trying to acquire these 3. So Monty and Swift. Jay, call back when you got a potential offer that you want to work out too. Theo, you got 30, pal.
Would you trade Pollard for Swift?
I would rather have Pollard over Swift.
Okay, and do you think Pollard will finish top 10 RB rest of the season in PPR?
I don't know. I feel like I'm hopeful for it, but I don't. The answer is I don't know. But the question is, will Swift? Swift has just as much question marks as Pollard, and Pollard feels like he's got a little bit more guaranteed situation. So Pollard's the answer,
Pollard's
but they're both volatile.
Been expected points, but he's doing pretty bad.
Well, but I do like him more going forward, but it's close. It could get close. All right, thank you, James.
All right, thanks.
Theo from Illinois, you got 30. Okay, Theo from Illinois is gone. Daniel from Cali, you got 30.
Hey, Smitty. Hey, I just traded Jalen Waddle and Kenneth Walker for Saquon Barkley, DK Metcalf, and Devon Achane.
So Barkley, Metcalf, and Achane.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Waddle, Walker, Barkley, DK, Achane. I probably lean this Barkley, DK, Achane. Because I mean, like Waddle and DK, you could almost wash if you wanted. There's obviously some upsides for both of them. Barkley and Walker, I'd rather have Walker, but you get Achane. It's an easy call.
All right, Smitty, thanks.
All right, later, bro. Hold on, Ninja. Let me put this. 479 caller. Who is this and where are you calling from? Okay, area code 4, whatever. You didn't answer. So, Ninja, you got 30 seconds.
What's good, yo? So Roshan Johnson or Zach Moss this week?
Moss. Moss has earned it. I mean, look, we keep kind of like gravitating away from him, but he's in the 40-50% role there. Even at 40%, like 38 to 45% role, like let's call it 45% of the carries, because they just signed JT to a big deal. They're not giving JT less than 50%. But even in this role, he could break off a big touchdown. He's proving very efficient. So Moss by a mile. For now.
Thank you.
Yeah, later.
Thank
you. 479 caller. Where are you calling from? 479, and what's your name?
From Ark.
My name's Ryan. Thanks for everything you do, man. I'm going to keep it short and simple.
All right.
I've got Justin Fields, Kyler Murray on the bench. Quarterback situation is in shambles. I've got Will Levis starting right now. And here's the rest of my team. I got Bijan, Kenneth Walker, Garrett Wilson, Puka, Trey McBride, JSN, and Rasheed Rice. I'm looking to move players, and I don't know who to move.
All right. That's a lot of information for a quick question, but hit me with the team one more time. Hit me with the team one more time.
All right. Justin Fields and Kyler Murray on the bench. Do I need to move them?
I mean, I like Kyler. What are you going to get? What are you going to get? Can you? I mean, you have to destroy your team to get another quarterback, and at least you have a potential top.
Trade them, and I've got 3 quarterbacks on my roster.
Okay, so but this guy's, but Kyler's pretty much capable of being a top 6 quarterback. So let's move on from your quarterback and call that good. Okay, next.
Okay. Fields, Justin Fields.
No, I know. I'm saying Kyler's your quarterback. He's top 5 or 6, top 5 or 7. You don't need to go quarterback shopping. Let's pretend that's going to be okay. It's a risk, but you're pretending it's okay. Let's address everything else. Go running backs. Go.
All right, 3 and 5. So I need to make some trades. I've got Bijan, Kenneth Walker, Roschon Johnson, and Deontay Foreman. That's all I got.
Bijan Walker. Bijan Walker. Who?
And Roschon Johnson.
Okay.
Those are the 3
Okay. All right.
Motion detected at the front
and
door.
then we've got Garrett Wilson and Puka Nacua as the starting wide receivers. JSN and Rasheed Rice.
JSN, okay.
And Trey McBride. I just need to make some trades. What I got is not working.
What? Yeah. I guess I would say with this team. You can't sell Bijan high. You have to hold him. You can't sell Garrett Wilson high enough, so I don't know that you can really trade him. Walker is sellable, but he's coming off a bad game. Bijan, you can't sell him high. Puka, he's coming off a bad game, but probably still could be sold relatively high. I honestly don't know that you're going to get enough value. You might have to wait a week if your trade deadline isn't, here. I would wait a week and let these guys do something. Because you're selling at an all-time low, and I don't know that I like this move. I would say Puka for Achane. Go to the Achane owner. What wide receiver can you get that they're doubting that they don't respect right now, like Debo, or Ridley or Olave, and then all of a sudden I'm trading Puka for that combination. Example, just 1 week ago. We've only had 1 week play since I made this move. I traded Puka for Eckler in the throne draft, where you guys draft my team for me. And the entire communities, all the other communities involved, all the teams in there really thought we got worked over. And we gave up Puka Nacua for Eckler. And while I think some people would still argue Puka's better, I guess some might, that nobody's laughing at that now. They might say, well, I kind of like Puka more. We got Eckler. 1 week changes a lot. And if you can't get that kind of value out of Puka right now, you're almost 1 week late to doing anything. But if Puka can bounce back next week, if Walker can bounce back next week, if Bijan scores 3 touchdowns next week, if Garrett Wilson has 150 yards and a touchdown, you may not want to make any moves at all. But if one of these guys pops off, now you got a 2-for-1 situation. You don't have any ability to do 2-for-1s right now because you're selling low on Walker, you're selling low on Puka, you're selling low on everybody. It's not a horrible team. It's not a horrible team. Will you make the playoffs? I don't know. But I would say Achane is the guy I go to right now using Puka. Achane and what for Puka?
I love that strategy. Thanks for what you do, man.
All right, man. Later. Appreciate you. All right, that was Ryan. Now we're going to go over to Wes. Wes, you got 30.
Hey, what's going on, Smitty?
What's up?
Quick trade request. I really need a tight end. So I was wondering, would you trade away Debo and Connor for Ridley and Andrews?
Debo and Connor for Ridley and Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I would. Bro, that's I mean, yeah, think about it. Think about it. You're like Ridley and Debo are neck and neck in my book. And Debo's hurt, so we don't even know how healthy he's going to be. He's on a bye, but we'll see how like wash this part. And now you're telling me injured Connor for Mark Andrews, positional advantage, Mark Andrews. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's a lambasting.
All I needed just wanted for clarification.
Yeah. Be careful it doesn't get vetoed. All right, later.
Right.
All right. Grant from Cali.
All right, Smitty. So I had an issue with my team where I had a lot of real estate to kind of give up. I had Davante Smith and David Montgomery on the bench. I have Olave starting. So what I did was I took Olave, Smith, and Kareem Hunt and traded them for Davante Adams and Rashad White. My wide receivers are now Diggs, Waddle, and Davante Adams, and then I have Bijan and Montgomery and Aaron Jones.
All right.
What do you think about that?
I mean,
I'm pretty high on Davante Adams right now. I think that Antonio Pierce is going to find a way to get him the ball.
I mean, like I said, like the whole point of the beginning of the show is his stock is going up for sure. So I agree with that for the most part, but I don't know how much. Like Olave, Smith, Hunt for Adams, and who?
Adams and Rashad White.
Rashad White.
But Rashad is not even going to start. I have Bijan and Monty going to be in the start.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say I lean toward the Adams side after the fact that we're looking at Aiden O'Connell starting, but there's still some risk to it. But Devontae Smith and Olave, if Olave goes nuts and bounces back, this side could definitely win the trade, but it would need Olave to bounce back, and there's some question of whether there's enough support there for that to happen. But I'd say Adams, if you can move Rashad White with another player for a piece, like an Achane, Rashad White and something for Achane, Rashad White and something for a tight end upgrade or whatever the hell, I would really like that for your team. So if you can turn this into that'd be one of those trades where it's like, hell yeah, you did a second move.
Last question: would you do Bijan and Waddle for Kyren and Cup?
Bijan and Waddle for what?
Kyren and Cooper Cup.
And what's your record?
5-3.
What are you doing, by the way? There's all kinds of rattling. It's like are you filing papers or something? What is that?
No, you can hear me or no?
Who's? Yeah, I think it's you making all that noise.
No, I hear it too. It's not me.
Is that TM42? Are you filing some papers?
Nope, that's not me.
I think it's you, Grant, because I added TM42. I don't know if you got me on your ear or if you're doing something, but you're doing. I was just curious. I'm not mad. I'm just curious. It just sounds like you're well, a little bit, but it sounds like you're doing something. I was just curious. I wanted to know what it was. I didn't know if you're flipping a pizza or what. Okay, Kyren and Cup for Bijan and Waddle. Give me.
What worries me is that they have the same buys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but what's your record again?
5-3.
I take it. I think you make the playoffs. I think you're probably pretty good. Look, Cup is. I worry about if Stafford goes down, this entire side plummets. But this is a lot of value right here, bro. A lot of value.
Okay. As always, me. I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hit everything, pal. All right, hey, later, Grant. See you later. All right, TM42.
I got Hurts, Levis, and Love. Would you trade Love for JJ?
Would I trade Jordan Love for JJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it's a super flex, but even though it is, I mean, is O'Connell available? Can you replace Love anyway? But I mean, yeah, I mean, you got Hurts and Levis. Not that you aren't playing with a little bit of fire to not have another quarterback, but I would take JJ in that situation. Sure. I'm okay going a little risky with my getting rid of my third super flex quarterback when I can get a potential bump in JJ like that into my lineup. But there is some risk that there is a world where JJ does not return. and you end up going, damn, it seems so good, but I just gave up Love for free in a super flex where it could hurt you. But I definitely do that. I'd take JJ all day.
Right. Cool. Thank you.
TM to the moon later. Appreciate you. All right, let me hit back to this territory here where we got a couple of super chats waiting. We got Rag with a Smitty Goat, C. Watson, JSN rest of season. I'm going to go JSN, but I still believe in Christian Watson more than most. If anybody didn't watch the game, Perp's dropping a double 20 on the screen here. Perps to the moon. I'm going to give you your celebration here in a second. If anybody didn't watch the Green Bay game, Watson should have had, I know we can keep saying woulda, shoulda, coulda apologies, be a Watson apologist, but if you watch the game, Watson literally was doing his best, and the balls were just unlucky and contested. Some of them weren't even badly thrown. It's just a defender's hand was in there. It was like trying to fingertip catch it, and it was placed like okay. He would have had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Christian Watson. This would have been the game that people are like, oh my God, you're so right, he's back. And it like didn't happen. It's so frustrating. It was sitting there. $20 haulers from Perps, doubles, doubles.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, Perps, I'm 4-4, 12-man PPR. Going into week 9, I have $60 remaining in Fab. Roster is Howell Hall, Barkley, Lamb, Cooper Kupp, Waller, Downs, Dotson. Bench is T-Law, Jeff Wilson, Spears, Kyler, IR, etc. These guys are available on waivers. Any moves worth making or worth the Fab? McBride, Douglas, Fournette, Shakir, Shaheed, Njoku, Ferguson. Thoughts on that? Thanks, Smitty. Okay, so your team, you got $60 left in Fab. I definitely drop Julio. I don't think Julio's a thing. Could be wrong, but you freaking never know. Waller's going to be on IR for a while. I wish that McBride was... Oh, McBride is there. So, yeah, McBride over Waller. I love to put Waller on IR, but I don't know if they're going to announce anything in time for you to do that. So you might not be able to drop him yet. And I don't know that I'd drop him, but maybe I would. If he's on IR, I probably would. I mean, what's Waller? Waller's just a name at this point. So, chat, would you drop Waller? Just drop him and pick up McBride? Waller's out. Maybe, who knows? He could be out for the rest of the year, but he says it's going to be a while. I would say for now, though, your drop is easily Julio Jones. Kyler's already on your IR anyway, but so I guess you don't if you only have one IR spot. I would say I'm picking up McBride for Julio in a millisecond. Your rest of your team is good enough that you're not like in desperate need for these other guys, but if I had to like say who the top pickup would be, it'd probably be Shaheed or Douglas. I'd probably say Shaheed, but I don't know that it's worth like it may be worth dropping Waller, may not be. But you definitely need to drop Julio and pick up McBride. And quite honestly, with Waller going down and being out multiple weeks, I'd probably, depending on the historical trending in your league for Fab droppage, I would look to maybe drop as much as you need to. You know, if like the highest drop is like $40, I'd drop 45. If it's like 25, I'd drop 30. I'd be careful not to let McBride slip through your fingertips, bro. If you had to do a full load drop, I would potentially do a full load drop because I'd be worried about missing out on the final tight end.
Initiate full load drop.
The final tight end that is out there for you to grab that has top 6 to 10 potential. You don't find that very often. So that's full load drop material. That's definitely full load drop material.
Initiate full load drop.
Full load drop if I've ever seen it. 4-4, my QB, Burrow, Bijan, Walker, Sharps, Javonte, Roshan, wide receiver, St. Brown, Olave, Ayuk, McLaurin, Dotson, JSN, Kincaid, Ferguson, Cowboys. It's a good team. I think we talked about this one a little bit yesterday. I mean, if you could use Javonte's higher value now, you might want to wait a week and couple it with Olave to get a safer wide receiver or Ayuk to get a safer wide receiver. I'm definitely exploring that. But I wait on Javonte before I'd sell him low. So like Javonte and Olave for Lamb, Javonte and Olave for Kupp, Javonte and Ferguson and McLaurin for Cup. Javonte, maybe you keep Javonte and you go Ferguson and McLaurin for, maybe you like Ridley a little more. I do. Olave's, Ferguson and Olave for, I don't know, just a tiny bump. Lamb would be kind of in that wheelhouse. Those are the moves I'm thinking rock out. But past that, I mean, you might want to wait and let these guys ball out a little bit this week. I have Kincaid already, says TJ. This is off of this super chat right here from TJ. TJ, appreciate your super chats, your doubles. 5-3, hurting at wide receiver. Kincaid, I have Kincaid already. Okay. So hurting at wide receiver. Would you trade Ridley and Laporta for Achane? And you've got Kincaid. I would take Achane. Or should I request Flowers, Dotson with Achane? I would try and get one of those for sure. But sometimes you can get somebody to say no when you do that. And then when you try and go back to the original thought, they're in no mode. They're like, nah, they've already decided. I'm just going to keep them. Some people just like when they say no the first time, you just got to know your opponent. Do I think that Ridley and Laporta is a lot for Achane? I do think it is a lot. So I would try and get one of the wide receivers. I would tell him, hey, I'll do this trade if you throw in whichever receiver you choose. The reason I would say it that way is because A, they're both good enough, bro. I'd rather have I don't know if I'd rather have Flowers or Dotson anyway. But giving him that chance makes it truly, the ball's in his court, and he's truly going to look at it like you aren't trying to pull one over on him. You're asking him to just give you your drop. You choose Dotson or Flowers. I'll take either one. And that way he's going to be like, okay, well, then I guess, this isn't like I'll just pick whoever I want. Like, it won't make him feel like, oh, he's trying to work me. You know what I'm saying? So definitely feel like that's doable. Would you trade Ridley and Laporta for Achane? Yeah. So thank you, Bleezo, for dropping the super chat, broski. I appreciate you. Would you trade Ridley and Laporta for Achane, or should I request Flowers? I picked up McBride as well. Nice job with McBride. McBride gives you a little extra trade power too, bro. That's really, really good. Nice work. Crafty move. Crafty move. Bear coming in with a strong one. Trade Bijan and Olave for Chase and Elijah Moore. I'd rather have Bijan and Olave. But I guess I say that in like, okay, if you're winning with it, if you're not winning, let's get the chat to vote on this one. I would say if like things were working out for you, and they probably are not, which is why, because Bijan and Olave have been slow moving. Maybe you do take Jamar Chase. Maybe you take a swing. I do think these guys do bounce back, but maybe you take Chase. Maybe you just take Chase and say, look, it's not working for me here. I need something. Jamar Chase, come to the squad, do it live. I'm going to say go Jamar Chase. I would love to get the chat to vote, though, if you guys could. Please vote on this one. That's a tough call, though. It's a lot to give up, but it's a lot to give up of players not doing well. You know what I mean? So it's tough to say. You answered my question. You never answer my question, says TJ. Okay, TJ, let me go look for it. I'm sorry, bro. TJ says 5-3. What did I just move on from this question? I'm sorry, TJ. 5-3, hurting at wide receiver. Trade away Goddard and Aaron Jones for Debo. I'm sorry, I don't know what sidetracked me. 5-3, hurting at wide receiver. Trade away Goddard and Aaron Jones for Debo and Taysom. I'd probably say I'd rather have Debo by a hair, even though he's injured. But he's got the bye week this week coming off that. Running backs are JT, K9, Hall. Wide receivers are Amon-Ra. So JT, K9, and Hall are fantastic, bro. Amon-Ra, JJ, Hollywood, and then Debo. I like this a lot. I think this is a good trade. You got enough running backs that this is a very good trade. If Debo comes back, and let's be honest, man, the Niners have been, a mess, and I think that the key to it could be getting Debo back on his horse. So I really like this trade, and I think this team is a total hold after that point. I mean, those are some solid RBs and wide receivers. You're set up fantastically, and you got Hurts at quarterback. Howell is a fantastic backup. I like it, TJ. I'm sorry about glossing over that one. I don't know what distracted me. I get sidetracked so much. I appreciate you, TJ. Okay, Olave is not it, says Swaggy. I think that's a gross overreaction, Swaggy, if I've ever seen one. But his situation's bad. You're talking about Olave. It's not Olave's fault, bro. I mean, maybe word it properly, Swaggy. That's not worded properly at all. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
To my boy, Scotty. Trade ideas, 10-team, half PPR, 5-3 this league. Dak, Fields, Purdy, Watson. Okay. Don't love the quarterback situation. Trade Purdy and Deshaun. I mean, if you can get rid of them, who's going to take them? Laporta, running backs are Kamara, Bijan, Swift. Like the RBs, Pacheco. Wide receivers, Pickens, Garrett Wilson, London, Debo Samuel. I like the team a lot. I think it's a good team. Ridley, Pickens, Garrett Wilson. I like it. I think if you could get an upgrade at QB or one of the wide receivers, I very much like that. But past that, I would say, I mean, what are you going to do? Like Kamara, you could if you wanted to trade away Pacheco or Swift maybe for a QB bump. Like Dak and Swift, Dak and Pacheco for a struggling Mahomes. Not going to be easy to pull off, but I've seen it done several times this week. People that have Mahomes either believe in him fully or they're doubting the hell out of him right now. So you just got to kind of test the waters. I can't tell you that every Mahomes owner in every league is going to give him up for nothing. But I think that you certainly have an opportunity to do that. Tua, Burrow, those guys are all kind of attainable if somebody's in needed from an RB perspective, and you can throw them a Swift or a Pacheco. Would I give up like Pacheco and maybe London for a little bit of a wide receiver, like a decent Lamb or slightly under wide receiver? Definitely. Thank you for your $10 hauler. That's how I would probably take that team, Scotty. But your team's really, really good. I'm really trying hard to get Mahomes. Mahomes is the only quarterback that's vulnerable right now via trade. And again, some people are not going to trade him. And this one right here, 5-3. QBs, Fields, Dak, Murray, running back JT, Eckler, Barkley, Hall, Achane, wide receiver Puka, DK, DJ Moore, Nico, Watson, Andrews. Could turn one of my running backs into... Who could I turn one of my running backs into? So JT, Eckler, Barkley, Hall, Achane. I definitely get rid of Barkley. I keep Eckler and Hall and Achane for sure. I would trade Barkley. I would trade JT. I'd rather keep JT over Barkley. So Barkley's the odd man out for me. And you have Puka, you have DK, you have DJ Moore. It's nice. Barkley and DJ Moore for Chase. Barkley and DJ Moore for Diggs. Barkley for Lamb. Barkley for Cooper Kupp. That's where I would take that for sure. And I think those are all very, very doable on some level. Cody, appreciate you. PPR redraft, traded away Bijan, Purdy, and Laporta. Got Kittle, Godwin, Swift, and Achane. Bijan, Purdy, and Laporta for Kittle, Godwin, Swift, and Achane. I'd rather have the Swift, Achane, Godwin side by a mile, bro. That's a really, really good trade. I mean, Kittle and Laporta, you could easily argue Kittle's better than Laporta or Laporta's better than Kittle. I'm not going to get into a debate with somebody about that because there's pros and cons to both. But Swift and Achane are much, much better than Bijan at this moment in time. No doubt about it. How did I do? QBs are Fields and Kyler. I love it, bro. I think you did a fantastic job. In the final super chat, and then I'm going to go over to Rockout, who's sitting on hold. This super chat is, sorry, Smitty, I didn't make it clear. I have Cooper on roster. Wish it was Cooper Kupp over Amari. Oh, man, that sucks. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull it up again. I don't know what the question was now. 4-4. I also have Okay, so Lamb, Cooper. Okay, I don't know if it changes anything. I mean, you're not cutting Cooper, so it doesn't really change the advice necessarily. Do I think Shaheed's maybe a little more important now over Waller? Maybe, but it's still hard to just cut Waller. But does the chat agree that cutting Waller is not the end of the world? I don't think it is. Rock out. What can I do for you? Thank you, Purpose.
Yeah, I need two flexes. Rosha Johnson, Dotson, Ferguson, and JSN.
Roshan Johnson, Dotson, Ferguson, JSN. Give me JSN and Dotson.
And would you go Cowboys D or Jets D this week?
Cowboys D. They're at Philly, right? And the Jets are playing. Jets are playing.
Chargers.
Huh?
Jets play the Chargers.
Yeah. Probably the Jets, bro. Probably the Jets. It's close though.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I mean, they got a good D. Their D is awesome.
They're both pretty good.
Yeah. All right, rock out. Appreciate you, pal.
Cool.
You're the man. Rock out to the moon. Travis.
Hey, Smitty. I just got a few quick questions. Would you be starting Howell over Levis this week?
Howell over Levis. Yes. I think Howell has earned it. He was the number one quarterback last week, man. And at Thursday Night Football, Levis is still like, let's see what he does. He take away all 4 of his touchdowns, and he had little yardage. So it was like they're big like plays. Some of them weren't like all his doing.
Right. Then with how are you ranking Hawkinson, Laporta, and Kincaid right now?
Hawkinson, Laporta, Kincaid. I think you have to put. I'm putting Laporta 1, and I can understand somebody putting Hawkinson 1, but I would say like Hawkinson's 2 and Kincaid's 3. But in this, I would say that this is like my favorite value Kincaid. So if let's say I own one of these other 2 for anybody watching, I would very much be okay keeping Kincaid and trading the other because they get you more value in trade. But you have to rank them. I think you don't have to, but I would rank them like this. And then Kincaid, while he's 3rd, is still intriguing enough that he could absolutely equal these guys. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because the guy who has Davante Adams right now, all he has is Waller as a tight end, so he really needs a tight end. Is that like something straight up, or do you think I'd have to give up more to get Adams right now?
I think Hawkinson might get him. It just depends on what he's feeling right now about Hawkinson. Like, some people don't want to go near him now, but you probably have to give up a little more, I imagine.
All right, and then like what about Pollard? Is that another straight up? Or I'd probably have to give something up with Hawkinson.
Yeah. You have to give up something. I don't think anybody's... Maybe. I mean, try. Pollard's definitely worth trying. He's been struggling so much. People are very, very down on him. But I think you have to give up something. Because giving up a running back, people are just... There's very few people in a league. Maybe one person has consolidated them all. There's very few people in a league that have like plethora of running backs just sitting there. So trading one away, someone's going to give you the famous line of, if I trade a running back away, I can't do that. I'll have no running back. Right. So, yeah. All right. Thanks, Travis. Appreciate you.
All right. Can I?
All right, Isaac.
One more thing, quick.
Yeah.
Just real quick. My league, they're like semi scared of Achane. They don't like the whole injury thing. If I was going after JT, would Achane, one of those tight ends, and DK be too much?
I'd rather have Achane over JT.
You would? You'd still rather Achane. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Travis.
Awesome.
Later.
Thanks, Smitty.
Cole, you got 30.
Hey, man, real quick, Smitty. Don't want to bug you too long. So my team is Hurts, DJ Moore, Addison, Bijan, Jacobs, Kincaid, Smith, Lockett.
Hold on, bro. You're going a little quick. I'm not going to be able to help you if you Bijan, I know, but if you want to list your team off. Hurts, Addison, DJ Moore, Bijan. What else?
I got Jacobs, Kincaid, Smith, Lockett. And on the bench, I got Ryan Gibbs,
Flowers, Spears, Roshan, and Murray.
Okay.
I'm trying to make some moves, trying to get Eckler. Guy's not budging. Looking for Davante right now. Is there any moves? I know I need a wide receiver to kind of trade up big. Is there any moves you're looking at?
I mean, the only thing I'm tempted to do is trading these three guys right here. I want to keep Bijan, so it's DJ Moore, Addison, and Jacobs. I want to keep Bijan, unless you can sell him high, which I don't think you can. I'm keeping Gibbs, I'm keeping Kincaid, I'm keeping Davante Smith, and I'm keeping Jalen Hurts. So just combinations of Addison and Jacobs, DJ Moore and Jacobs, going after JT, going after Eckler, going after Achane, going after guys like that using those combinations, going after Cooper Kupp, going after Diggs, going after Jamar Chase. Just use combinations of Jacobs, DJ Moore, Jacobs, Addison over and over.
Yeah, move up good, but are we even leaning towards selling high at any point?
I mean, if the right offer came along, but I mean, looks fantastic, bro. Yep. All right. Yeah. Come back when you got some. Come back when you have some Addison, DJ Moore, Jacobs offers, and then we'll break those down. All right. The Isaac, you got 30.
All right. Entertainment. I've got a live trade on the table right now as we speak. I would be receiving Davante Adams for D-Hop and Lockett.
Yeah, I would take Adams.
Smash it, right?
Yeah, I would. I mean,
I don't even need to give you my team.
Yeah, there's arguments to be made that Hopkins will continue to do, but he's banged up right now. He's older, and Adams' fortune should change a little bit. So I like it. I like it. Yep, I think worth it. Thank you, Isaac. Isaac, appreciate you. Later.
Yep.
All right, let me hit these final super chats. Then your boy's going to be out of here. I might come back tonight. Kittle, Brian Robinson, Deontay Johnson to get St. Brown. Smash the hell out of that. That's easy. That's easy peasy, broski. That's easy peasy. Brian Robinson, Deontay Johnson for St. Brown. Bro, that's going to get vetoed. Come on, bro. Z, did you cook that up last night, like in the middle of the night, thinking this was going to be like a deal you're going to send? Like, hey, Smitty, should I send this? Come on, Z. There's no one's giving you a St. Brown for Kittle, Brian Robinson, Deontay. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe Kittles aren't that much value, I guess. $10 hauler. If you get that, I like it, though. I like St. Brown a lot. Scotty, $10 hauler. Trade ideas, 10-team PPR, half PPR. 4-4 league. Howell, Fields, Kmet, Walker, Gibbs, Hubbard, Foreman, Roshan, Charbonnet, wide receiver, St. Brown, Downs, Shaheed, Christian Watson, JJ on IR. Quarterback upgrade, bro. Fields and Howell are not necessarily my favorite combo. I love how Howell's playing right now, and so you definitely want to roll with Howell. But like going into the playoffs, do I want a Kyler maybe? If you can trade like maybe, I don't know. I guess it's so tough. I don't think there's many moves you can make here though. Like you sell high on St. Brown and get maybe some sort of like Ridley and Achane combination. That's my goal for people is to go get Achane now with the wide receiver for one player if you need to do a one player turn him into two. That's all I can think of here other than like Walker you can't sell high. Kyler, I would want Kyler in this quarterback room. I want Mahomes. Would I trade for Mahomes using JJ straight up? Absolutely. So like Howell and JJ for Mahomes, that might be the move, Scotty. That could be quite a move. I'd maybe try that. Michael, got your $20 hauler right here. I'm just gonna put that right here. Smitty, what do you think? I just got offered Waddle for Laporta. I have Kittle. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. I guess I would do that. I think that it's close for sure. I think because you don't need them necessarily. $20 hauler from Michael to the moon.
alert. Super chat alert.
Michael, my guy, I appreciate you. I was just offered Aaron Jones for Waddle. I'd rather have Waddle at this moment in time. I still like Aaron Jones to a degree, but I like Waddle more. I'd try and do something different. You got Achane on in the wings. I like that. I try and get. I guess there's it's tough sledding out there right now, man, for RBs. I get it. You know what? If you don't think you could get anything else, and you are 3-5, and you need to make a move, I guess I'm not opposed to it. It's just your wide receivers are kind of weak if you do this. I like Pickens, Addison, and Olave. It's solid, but it's nice to have Waddle there. I don't know that I love this particular move. If you can't make any other moves, then I suppose Smitty approve it. Yeah. Go ahead, Michael, do it. Take the gamble. I mean, you're 3-5. You need to take a gamble somewhere, right? Aaron Jones has potential to be a top 5 to 10 running back. You just have to be okay with the risk that this could backfire on you majorly, but you're okay with that because right now you're needing a swing. And Aaron Jones is a pretty decent swing. It's risky, but it's decent. Niner Rick needs some love as he just lost his mom. Oh man, Niner Rick, guys, can we drop some prayer emojis in the chat for Niner Rick's mom? Thank you, Carrie, for letting me know. Drop some prayer emojis in there. Niner Rick, I'm sorry, pal. That's awful. That's awful, bro. Niner Rick to the moon. I'm sorry, bro. Drop prayer emojis if you could, guys, right now. Flex Spears, Hendy, Freeman, Warren, Deonta Smith, and Shakir, and KJ Osborne. I'm probably putting Hendy in for sure, and then my next up would be probably Warren. But, there's pros and cons to that. Anthony, trade away D-Hop, Najee, and Downs for Adams. I would take Adams in a heartbeat, especially with the news today that, and last night that AOC is going to be starting at quarterback. Howell or Purdy for a backup? Howell. Purdy might be turdy. Dre with the final super chat of the night. JJ for Andrews or JJ for Kincaid and Aaron Jones. If you're good at tight end, bro, I would take Kincaid or I'd take JJ. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. JJ's who you're trading away. I'd take Andrews if you need a tight end. I like maybe I do. No, you know what? Kincaid and Jones. Give me Kincaid and Jones if you need a swing. I'm okay with that. But I'm also okay with keeping JJ in this context too. Like, it's pretty even. But if I have to choose, if you need something, you're like, I'm not winning, Smitty, I got to do something. Give me the idea of Aaron Jones, and then Kincaid may be coming through for you. I would say that's a good one. Appreciate you all. I'll be back probably later tonight. Thank you all for your super chats. Thank you all to my $20 haulers and above. I had Michael Russo with the 20 wad. Michael, appreciate you. Bleezo with the $20 hauler. Perps with the double 20, 40 bucks, 20 back to back. Appreciate you. Michael Smith with a $20 hauler. You're a monster. Chris, appreciate your $20 hauler. And Smoking Jays with a 20 watt on screen. And then Oscar with a 20. Appreciate every single one of you. Appreciate the $2 haulers, the $5 haulers. Appreciate all your subscribers. We're at 23,608 subscribers. We'll be moving this to 24K in no time. And I work for you. I'm live whenever news breaks, whenever big news breaks. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. And I'm live a lot of graveyard shifts, which is like the midnight area, or after like games. So after the Thursday game, after the Monday night game, after the Sunday night game. Your boy's live after games. That's the way we roll. We're live more than I think anybody you could possibly find. I'm your one-stop shop. We are a family. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow, or I'll see you tonight. Probably see you tonight. Don't forget, if you want to draft with me tonight, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $500 for a limited time. Hit that link right now in the live chat. I just dropped it. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to $500. That link is in the description of this video. It's in the description of every video, pretty much. And Code Smitty does the same thing. Code Smitty does the same thing. The link that I dropped in the live chat, it will get you ready to go. And if you want to draft tonight, you got to sign up. Minimum $10. They'll double your first deposit. So if you do the minimum 10, they'll give you 20. Or they'll give you $10 more and you'll have 20. If you do 100, they'll give you 100. If you do 500, they'll double your first deposit up to $500. So get ready. hit the link. I'll drop the link one more time. It's in the description. It's code Smitty. The link does it for you. Click the link. Get ready. We probably will be drafting tonight. Appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Rain or shine. That's how we roll. Appreciate you all. Thank you to my mod squad. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Vampy and Blackbeard and Terry Roberts if you're out there. Travis, appreciate you.